the offense has been getting better. They are getting better with the being able to add a passing game to that running game. And they don't need a spectacular passing game. They just need to be able to take advantage of what the running game gives them, which is, when you go play action fake, people have to honor that because of the effectiveness they're having on the ground. And so he's been able to show that he can take advantage of that. And
welcome back, National Football Show, Dan Sileo. By the way, we were scheduled to have Jay Glazer on tomorrow, but he's got COVID, so we'll reschedule Jay. We talked to him this morning, and he's doing a little bit better. Kind of had a setback today, so we'll schedule him once he's up and running again. He missed all the Fox shows over the weekend, but man, you're now sitting at 8-7. We bring in our dear friend Garry Cobb from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. And hey, Gary, before I get going here, and what shook out in that game against the Giants, can you tell me what happened to Rasul Robinson and why he is not here any longer, and what happened to him in Philadelphia? Because he's playing all-pro football in Green Bay. I mean, he's changed that defense around. What happened here? Was it just a different scheme that just didn't fit his skill set?
Well, it was a case where Rasul Douglas is who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, and Rasul, he's a guy who's great ball skills, meaning like he really is a safety, if you ask me. When the ball's in the air, this guy goes after the ball, man. He does a great job with playing the ball in the air. And he's depending on the coach, he's going to get under a coach's nerves because he's going to do some freelance things like we saw it. I see it with Trevon Diggs. I saw it with Everson Walls was like that. Hey, he's going to go by his instincts, and most of the time his instincts are right, but they're not right all the time. So, at times he might do something where you're going like, oh, no, you're not going to do this, and so he really I thought he got the coaches upset, and they really weren't. They didn't let him use his best assets, which is he is a ball hawk. He reads the quarterback. He's got great instincts. I saw the play he made on Sunday when a guy's going deep on him, but he knows where the quarterback's going with the ball. So he left that guy, went over and sure as they picked the pass off, made the quarterback look bad. But Rasul has got great ball skills, but you have to have enough confidence to let him play with those instincts. Because really, especially the way the game is, hey, you could have a guy that's out there and he just plays by the book all the time. The guy that picks off 4 or 5 passes or 8 passes helps you win 6 of those games. Turnovers are what defense is about. If you can cause turnovers, you're the guy that goes to the Pro Bowl. You're the guy that is on a winning team. So they didn't let him play like that. I would stand over there and the coach was getting on him when he would do things like freelance like that. But if you ask me, he should be playing safety, meaning he's got those kind of instincts, but it is amazing when you see a guy go and blossom like that. I'm happy for him. He was a good kid. You see these guys coming. I love to see a guy do well. But the thing is that they're letting him play with his instincts. They're letting him do things. Hey, if you read this, go ahead and jump that play. And he does that, and he's going out there with the confidence, and the coach is giving him the encouragement. And he's just blooming like a flower in that situation. And he's got great ball skills. I'm telling you, if I were coaching him, I probably would move him to safety, because, man, he will read a quarterback and jump the route. That's one of the strengths of his game. And then, he's got the size, but, he's really the strength of his game. But they didn't let him do that, And so, you know how some coaches, they're not going to let a guy freelance too much.
Oh yeah,
Do
they're
things
not going to give
instinctively.
him. They're not going to give him the space, Gary, that they're giving him in Green Bay right now. They had more. Jim Schwartz had more of a compact defensive scheme that they wanted him to play within that scheme, and you could see Green Bay is giving him more latitude to jump those routes. Let's get into the game on Sunday here. Who do you
Uh-huh.
think has been the biggest reason for this turnaround? They've now have won 6 of their last 8 ball games, the Eagles. Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Jonathan Gannon. In your opinion, what's been the big turnaround?
Well, the biggest part has been the running game. That's been the biggest part. And I will give Nick Sirianni credit that he started doing everything around the running game, which is what they should do. Their passing game should be designed around their running game. Because once you go up against the Eagles, you got to say, look, we got to stop this run. So you start committing stuff. You got people you're bringing up safeties. You got 8 guys up on the line of scrimmage. That's when you become vulnerable to the passing game, because you can't have 8 guys up there and they're all attacking the line of scrimmage and not have vulnerabilities in your passing game. Your pass defense. So the running game starts everything. And plus, with the running game, they win the ball possession battle most of the time. Now, they really didn't do that yesterday, but yesterday, I got to give the defense a lot of credit. The defense led the way yesterday with the turnovers, because first they shut the Giants out, which really, the Giants are so bad.
Oh, God.
Those quarterbacks, those guys shouldn't get their checks today. There's no way they should have enough gall to walk up and take their check. Come on.
That was terrible. Gary, that was absolutely terrible. Gary, to your point about Jonathan Gannon, listen to these numbers. They are 5th now in yards allowed, 11th in points allowed. They're a top 10 defense now. And do you think it goes back to that? I don't want to call it a confrontation with Fletcher Cox, but when Fletcher went public and he said, hey, we're just not on the same page, do you think that's all it took was maybe just a kick in the side for all of those guys to sit down and just come together there and go, hey, okay, guys, let me hear what the locker room, what my guys are saying. Do you think that's what jump-started this?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a part of it, because I see they come out in that 5 linemen. I think that's part of him talking to Fletcher, because he going, look, I want to get singled up sometimes so I can do something for this team. I don't want to be double teamed every play, and Fletcher's at a point now where the coach can say, look, I need everything you got every play. Look, I got 2 guys on me. Should I just waste myself fighting these 2 guys when these other guys are singled up? Figure, if they're singled up, earn your pay and do something. I got you singled up. They got 2 guys on me. And Fletcher wants to get in situations where he got 1 guy blocking him. He going, there's nobody in the league. I haven't met 1 guy that can block me. So what they do is they get in that 5 defensive lineman set, and it's hard to double team him. And it's hard to double team all of them. So everybody's single blocked, and then somebody beats their man, and they're hitting the quarterback. And that's what they did yesterday. They pounded their quarterbacks. Even though they didn't get a lot of sacks, they got a lot of hits. So every time this guy's letting go this ball, he got a helmet in his ribs, in his back. They're falling on his legs. So after a while, all they wanted to do was throw those check downs. And that's what wound up being the interception that they returned for touchdowns, because they just said, look, I'm not standing back here taking this punishment. The minute I get a chance to throw the ball, I'm throwing the ball, and I'm gonna duck. I'm not taking this punishment. And that's really what it was. So the defensive line really took over the game. But I do think what you said about the fact that Jonathan Gannon having to talk with Fletcher Cox was motivation for them to do some things to try to get them single block. And, the Giants definitely don't have an offensive line that can block the Eagles' defensive line if they're single blocked. So when they go to the 5-man front, then the offensive line that they're playing is going to have a lot of single blocks. They got to block guys, and they weren't good enough to do that yesterday. And really, I bet you the kid from when they took him out, he probably gave the coach a few dollars. Hey, coach, thank you.
Hey, Garry, we just had a question asked from LT. What did you think of the linebacker play? It looked like it was very disruptive yesterday against the Giants.
Yeah, they're playing better. They are doing a good job. Both with T.J. Edwards, because he almost had an interception there too, and of course Singleton picked one off and took it back to the house. They were playing well. They're attacking the line of scrimmage. They did a good job of knowing that Saquon Barkley's the guy they had to take away, and they were all over him. And I thought they played well. And I thought that whole defensive front, I thought they were the key to the game because they're the ones that forced the turnovers. And, at a certain point, probably halfway through the third quarter, the Giants were getting on the bus. Okay, they were physically still on the field playing, but really emotionally and everything, they were on the bus, on the turnpike, headed back up to the Giant Stadium or wherever.
Wait a minute, Garry. You and I know this. Man, they got the Hurtses all packed up already for this year. The Hurtses are packed up, ain't they? They're ready. They're ready for this thing to end, ain't they?
They are ready to go home, and I think that's going to mean there's some people that are running that organization are getting ready to take a trip too, because you got to get Mettleman out of there. They talk about that they're going to keep Joe Judge. They say
Why?
that they're probably going to keep him around.
Why?
I know, he really hasn't done anything. They look awful. I mean, they're just not. That's not. Used to. I remember when you played the Giants, you buckle your chin strap.
Oh yeah.
That's the way when Parcells was up there.
No doubt.
You better buckle your chin strap.
That team surrendered in the third quarter here. Now let me ask you this one here, because this will always be a running theme, and it's unfair to Jalen. But has he passed the audition, in your opinion, to be the quarterback at least for next year?
Wait, I didn't hear. Say that again.
Has Jalen passed the audition at least to be the quarterback for next year?
I think next year. Yeah, I think he's probably I think he has passed that point because he responded to the challenge where he played his poorest game against the Giants that first game, and I thought that yesterday he kind of redeemed himself, and. The offense has been getting better. They are getting better with being able to add a passing game to that running game. And they don't need a spectacular passing game. They just need to be able to take advantage of what the running game gives them, which is, when they go play action fake, people have to honor that because of the effectiveness they're having on the ground. And so he's been able to show that he can take advantage of that. And, and he's gaining confidence in receivers, even with the game last week, the game against Washington, where he knows he has the confidence in Devontae Smith and in Dallas Goedert and in Quez Watkins, pretty much those three, that he puts balls up. He gives them a chance to go up and win a battle for the football. With Devontae, with the two throws the last couple of weeks on the sideline, with him getting his feet in and catching the ball there, and Jalen puts it outside there where it's really almost out of bounds, but they're able to work. That's the kind of thing you want to see between a quarterback and the receivers. So you're kind of seeing these guys come together and they're kind of flowing together. So you see progress. That's basically I'm talking about. You see progress, and that's why I think he is the guy. I hear that there's nothing in the draft that is going to be able to come in and improve. So Jalen just has to keep on making these improvements and getting better and better. And right now he's the guy, and I think he's the guy next year. And I think that they can make the playoffs, and I see promise there. I definitely see promise. And of course, there's benefits from a tremendous running game they have, and they've got some guys banged up, but hey, you can get running backs, free agents, whatever, get the guys off the street because these guys are, they're getting banged up. But that line, man, they got a line that they move people. And as long as they're doing that, they can beat anybody, really. And nobody's going to want to see them in the playoffs.
Oh, no, because they move the sticks when they're running the ball. And you mentioned banged up running backs. A couple last questions here for you, Gary. What is the impact of Miles Sanders' injury to this offense down the stretch here, in your opinion?
Boy, I don't think I don't expect. Of course, I'm not a doctor, but I don't expect to see him until they get in the playoffs because he got a broken hand. I don't expect to see him, and you just see the burst he has.
Yeah.
That when they open a hole for him, that's 10 yards. Boom.
Yeah,
he hits that burst when he hits the exhaust. You see the specialness about the kid, that he's got those kind of wheels. And he's starting to get to where he's getting used to run behind this line. No dancing, north and south. Bam. North and south. And that's the way he's running behind this line. And they're providing him with the holes. And that's going to be missed. They need him, if and when they get to the playoffs, but because I think if New Orleans loses tonight, I think they might. I don't know if they clinch. They might. I think. I think they might have to win. They still have to beat Washington.
San Francisco and Minnesota are still kind of creeping around there for that 7th spot. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know San Francisco, but the Eagles are ahead of Minnesota.
Yeah, if tonight, I think if the Saints lose tonight, I think that eliminates one of those teams. So they're getting closer and closer. Hey, by the way, speaking of that, last question for you. Sirianni wins 10 ball games. Are we looking at the NFL Coach of the Year? I
think so. He's won me over, man.
Yeah, me too.
Because you know what? These guys want to play for him.
Yes.
And that's what you want to do as a coach.
Yes.
These guys want to play. I mean, you see the guys giving effort, and they want to fight for him. And that's what you want to do as a coach, man. And he might have done some things I wouldn't agree with when it comes to, throwing the ball some, when I think that, they lean on that running game even more. But I like the way he is a personable guy. He's honest. Everybody was, a lot of the guys in the media are burying him, because some of the things he said and everything. Yeah, maybe he volunteered more information than he should have with talking about what he says to the team and all that stuff. And he's getting into the flower talk and all that stuff.
The flaky stuff probably rubbed people the wrong way in Philly. But at the end of the day, you know what? If he wins 10 games, who cares how flaky he is, right?
That's right. I mean, get your players to play for you.
Yeah.
And these guys, I could tell by the way look, if somebody touches Nick Sirianni, he got a team of players that going to snatch that guy. And, hey, that's what you want. That's really what it's about. You got to have a coach. I mean, in any business, you got to have guys that are willing to work for you, and these guys are willing to work for him. They believe in Nick Sirianni. They like him, and they're willing to go out there and lay it on the line for him. And ultimately, that's the number one thing you got to do as a coach. And he's done that. And then I like the way he's got this offense evolving, too, because they're doing a lot of things. They got different running attacks that they're kind of merged together. And most of the defenses don't know what hit them. After they look up and it's 200 yards rushing. If you're giving up 200 yards rushing, you're not going to win many games. So,
it's over.
And I'm telling you, they've got some people sweating when they get into the playoffs, because if you got somebody you're controlling the ball, it doesn't matter what kind of offense the other team has. They're going like, well, yeah, we got a great offense, only they're sitting over there on the bench.
Right.
And so they can go in and dominate the game. And I think that gives them a chance, man. And with the way that their defense is coming on, they're starting to peak at the right time. And I got to give Nick credit. He's done the job, man. That's what coaching is about.
Finally here, I got to sneak this in. How about Carson Wentz throwing his 29th touchdown over the weekend? He's 29 TD, 7 picks. His team is 9-6. Are you shocked with the turnaround in Indianapolis?
No, because, I saw him when he was here. I mean, I saw the years he had here. The guy was the reason the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and he's probably the number one reason they did. He got them in the situation where you're the number one seed and everything. So I'm not shocked because the guy's a great player. He's been a great player. But I saw the game the other night, That's winning football. You see he wants to win. Again,
Yeah.
he's leading that team. They know he wants to win, man. So he's taking care of the ball better, and he can do all. He can pull it down and run when he needs to. He can make all the throws. There's a reason he was the second pick in the draft. I mean, the guy's a great player, and I'm glad to see him back at that level because he had a bad year that one year. But the guy was a great player, and I don't think anybody that's really been around the league is really that shocked. Guy's a great player.
Yeah, no. I think it's a great story all the way around. The Eagles get a 1, and you got Carson starting all over again in Indy. Gary, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
I got to give my man a plug. I'm over here. I'm over here at the Deptford Mall at the Sports Cave, and like anybody like to stop on by. They got everything, the memorabilia. It's all here, man. So stop on by over at the Deptford Mall in Deptford, New Jersey at the Sports Cave. Come on by. If you want it, they got it here, man.
Absolutely. Make sure you go on by and see JAKIB. He shows up every Monday for us. Fox 29 Zone, former NFL player, former 10 years plus legend, my friend, Garry Cobb, the mayor of Philadelphia. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it, brother.
All right. Have a great one.
You got it there, man. Man, I screwed that name up again. By the way, hey, guys, like the show. I really appreciate it. You guys have been dope. Carson Wentz, man. Are you shocked? You hear what JAKIB said, too? The reason you won that Super Bowl, he was the main reason. Okay? I'm going to tell you what you have to do the rest of the way out. You got 60 minutes of football this weekend against Washington. Don't go to sleep on that. Don't go to sleep on that. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. You keep it right here on the National Football Show.
This is Joe Krause of Krause's Coats, inviting you to donate a slightly worn coat or jacket and help veterans stay warm this winter. Go to Krause's Coats on Facebook to help those